Carol asks via YouTube, and this was another one that another person asked a similar question to. So other person, I'm sorry if I did forget your name. But Carol asked via YouTube, I have a question about how to decide which astrologer is best for us. I listen to many online astrologers and like them all for different reasons. But when it comes to who would be the best person to check my chart, I can't decide. I have limited money and I can only get one. Which one is better? Okay, I think that if you're going to choose an astrologer or a forecaster, first of all, you know, it's a good thing that we all like showcase our stuff on like horoscopes and things like that. But you really got to go with the character and the intention of the question. If you have no intention with your question, I would definitely say that maybe you don't want to go with somebody like me. I know that might sound professionally derelict of me to say, but I am more of a dissector. So certain people's intuitive abilities come up with certain things. Some astrologers and some tarot readers, like, they don't want you to ask questions. You're just going to go and sit there, and then they just tell you, kind of like almost like in a classical fortune-telling kind of way. And then some people are a bit more like me, where it's kind of like, I need a specific grounded question so I can give you specific grounded answers. So if you don't have a specific question or intention in mind, then you might want to go find somebody who does focus a little bit more on the general, non-prescriptive, intuitive style, and maybe you find that in the way they do their horoscopes or the way they do their essays and their vlogs. And if you do have a number of, you know, like, again, key specific questions, then maybe you want to go with somebody like me who's a little bit more prescriptive. But it's really all about the intention, because sometimes, you know, for a person like me, general kills, but at the same time I know plenty of astrologers and tarot readers out there where you've asked them a specific question and it kills them. So, you know, that would be the best thing, the best piece of advice I could give you, is that your intention should dictate the astrologer. David, via YouTube, asks, alright, dear Nico, you're very open about your sexual orientation, and you are also somebody who does not seem to think that that labels are a real thing or that they're even good for people. True. And I have a question. I've always felt myself to be 100% straight. I just got out of a relationship with a woman, and it's been really tough on me. We were together for 7 years, and she broke my heart. Part of me is still holding out for her to come back, but I've noticed I'm developing feelings for my friend who has been helping me out through this hard time. He has taken me into his home, when we got evicted because she moved out and she couldn't pay the rent. Okay, so there's a lot going on here. Basically, you're developing feelings for your friend who's been there for you, and you do feel some kind of maybe romantic or emotional attraction. And you say, no offense, but I don't know if I want to be gay or bisexual, but I can't help that these feelings are here, and I do want to explore this, but I don't want to. Okay, I'm not going to take offense to that, because I know what you're saying when you say I don't want to be gay, I don't want to be bisexual. And I don't think any gay or bi people who do watch my channel should be offended by that either, because what's happening here is, again, it's the label that's getting in the way. Alright, when Dave, when you say that, all I hear is, okay, when you say you don't want to be gay, you're not saying you don't want to have feelings for this guy, which is really cool and really brave. I want to say that first and foremost. You know, because you've just come out of one emotionally raw situation and now you're going into another. So you're actually being pretty brave by asking me this. You're not saying you don't want to like guys. You're saying you don't want to be gay or bi. And I know what you mean. Because you're talking about, like, the lifestyle, you're talking about the image, you're talking about the label. And I don't blame you for that. I mean, I don't really resonate with, like, what we call, like, quintessentially or stereotypically gay either. That doesn't resonate with me. You know, look at this. I mean, like, so, I mean, I completely understand what you're talking about. I completely resonate with what you're talking about. I would say that with your friend, oh, he's gay. Oh, so your friend is gay. And you're, so, okay, so this is like, this is not like a one-sided crush. This could actually, okay. Let's first get away from the labels. Get away from the labels. And everyone is going to be like, jumping to label you. Oh, you're just bi-curious. Oh, you're bisexual. Oh, you need to be more comfortable. I don't, you know, you know, F all that. Here's the only label you need. You're an animal who has feelings for somebody that developed because you appreciate them as a friend and maybe more. And I will say that sometimes when we have these powerful karmic experiences and these powerful karmic connections, because you say you do feel like you have a karmic connection to this guy, always have, even when you were with your ex, then sometimes these karmic things do breach bonds of things like sexual preference. Okay, I tell people I'm gay because I know that's what they expect, but I prefer to just say I like guys, because while I have not really met a woman who does it for me, I'm not going to have a complex if I do. Okay, but that's just me. That's my personal feeling about that. I believe that I think there are people in the world on an energetic and spiritual level that do come together, and this is just something I think that, you know, for you, again, I don't know where you live. I'm assuming that you live in the United States, because you posted this at a time where it would be kind of like, you know, United States. So I don't know if you live in America or you live in America, but, because I think they're two different places. But I think that you need to, like, again, just get away from the labels and get away from that. I think that guys don't tend to talk about this very much. You know, there's the I kissed a girl and I liked it. And I know plenty of straight guys who do, you know, there's just like, maybe just like some jockey man code that says that they're not allowed to talk about that, but there's plenty of times that that's happened for straight people, you know. And I don't think it's because they're not straight or that they don't prefer girls or that they're one or the other. I think that people just honestly they meet people that do it for them, and it doesn't matter. I think that 100% gay, 100% straight doesn't exist. So that's my advice for you. I'd say, you know, talk to them about it, but make sure you're not rebounding. Coffee. So yeah, just make sure you're not rebounding. I mean, if you are, that's okay. This could just be that. I don't mean to dismiss your feelings, but it could just be that. But tread lightly. You know, if you want to talk about it, just don't make it complicated. Remember, this is your friend, and that's most important. Okay, that's most important, that, you know, and so you should just enjoy each other's company. Something may develop from this naturally. You know, you haven't indicated if he's made passes at you before, he's been interested in you before. So I don't really know. But I would definitely say that you do live together and you are friends. So you have to make sure that whatever you decide to do, or whatever's okay, that you make sure that you do it with the most care, and you don't make it a big thing. You know, you don't make it's a big thing, but you don't make it a high maintenance thing. Okay? So that would be my advice for you there. And you know what? I just had a thought, you know, maybe I should do something like this more often, because this is definitely a situation where I think that talking it out is probably better than getting a reading. So maybe I'll do more Q&As like this so people can actually, you know, we can talk it out. So no, good talk, good talk. Thanks for asking. That's a good question. Chalu from Twitter asks, Libra Sun, Aquarius Ascendant, Sagittarius Moon, live-in relative, Cap Sun, Taurus Ascendant, Pisces Moon. Lots of tension. Is there hope? Yes, there's always hope. People always write in code when they're telling astrology. Yes, there's hope. Just because we have, okay, so we have quite a few squares going on. Capricorn Sun square Libra Sun, Taurus Ascendant square Aquarius Ascendant, Pisces Moon square Sag Moon. That's okay, because we can't let astrology justify a judgment all the time. I think that sometimes astrology becomes a bit of a crutch for people. Now, I've seen things like relationships and family relationships and roommate situations where the astrology was 100% compatible in every way, and they still managed to screw it up. Okay? So that means the opposite is true for you. So yes, there is hope. If there's lots of tension, I would say that probably one of the big things is between the ascendant signs. You know, I think that what needs to happen is you, with the Aquarius ascendant, might be stepping a bit on the Taurus's toes because you might want things to be a bit more free. You like things that are a little bit more emotionally high, and that's okay. But I would say that, you know, because the Taurus might want something a bit more stable and wholesome and down home, and a bit more domestic oriented, and so you two might be stepping on each other's toes, but that doesn't mean you can't make a compromise. Don't let astrology make this better or worse than it really is ever. But that's the most I can say about that for now, because I would, you know, if you know where each other's Mercuries and Marses are, I could probably do better. Okay? DJ KC6 from YouTube asks, I do have a Saturn question. Because of its long cycle around the zodiac, is Saturn the planet that brings natural death to human life or soul? Once Saturn is in a person's sun sign for 2 or 3 years transit, depending on where the sun is in the birth chart, Saturn in the birth chart, most people will have only 1 or 2 Saturn 29 to 30 year return into the sun sign, not the natal placement. Or what is the difference between the sun sign Saturn return and the natal birth chart Saturn in the house placement return? Now the first one, I don't know if you're asking about literal death, so get back to me on that one. Sometimes when we write down our thoughts, we can't say them the way we would say them when we speak, and so I'm not quite sure what you're asking for the first question. I'm sorry. But for the second question, is there a difference between the sun sign Saturn return and the natal birth chart Saturn return and the house placement return? Yes, there is. When Saturn is in your sun sign, we see a growth, or almost like a death of an old personality. Okay, and sometimes that happens almost right away. This can indicate a radical change. You know, if a person's Saturn goes into their sun sign, say like at age 10 or 11 or 12, or like a young age like that, this can indicate like a radical move, a divorce in the family, some kind of major life-changing event that changes their personality at a young age to be changed again. And sometimes it happens later on. Like I had the Saturn in Virgo back in 2007, 2008, and I changed drastically. Nico 2004 to 2008, you know, was let's just say, you know, my personality, I think was, well, he would have liked this jacket, but he was kind of a bit bad. That brought a bit of a personality change for me. And then the Saturn birth chart, Saturn return, is really more about your life course change, getting you back on course. So since so many people don't pay attention to the course their life they're headed, you know, and the spiritual concerns there, Saturn returns can sometimes be traumatic for them because they're being taken from one path back to the path they're meant to be on. But if you could rephrase your question, I'll try to get back to that. Just repost it below in the comments of this video, okay? So that is it for the Nico Q&A right now. So if you guys want to, again, ask more questions, I like doing these Q&As. Let's just, you know, you can tweet at me at Scarlet Moon Nico on, you know, on Twitter. You can post it to the Scarlet Moon Facebook wall, or you can just post a comment below, and I will probably return in a week or so with another Q&A, because this is fun. And as inspired by David, you know, you don't have to ask me about just astrology, tarot, and spirituality and magic, things like that. Sometimes we get readings, or maybe we want to get a reading about something that we don't need a reading about. Maybe you need to have a discussion like that. Okay? So, thank you very much, David. That was actually brilliant. You know, and all of it, you know, we'll just totally, you know, and then some of you gave me some ideas for videos on here that I think I need to do. Like, what about the Nico origin? What about All About Me? And what about the twin, like, how do I really feel about twin flames and things like that? So I'll definitely be talking a bit more about that in the future in special individual videos. So thank you everyone who participated. You've given me a lot to work with and a lot of inspiration here, and I can't wait to do another Q&A soon. Talk to you later.